Welcome to There is a Method to the Madness. My name is Rob Maxwell. I'm an exercise physiologist and personal trainer. I'm the owner of Maxwell's fitness programs, and I've been in business since 1994. Purpose of this podcast is to get to the real deal of what really works, talk about things health and fitness, and try to use some science to help you out. Today we're going to talk about it's Monday, Maniac Monday. Before I get to all of this fun stuff, let me thank Jonathan and Lynn Gilden of the Gilden Group at Realty Pros. They are committed to providing the highest level of customer service in home sales. Why don't you give them a shout and figure out how much your home is worth to sell? 386-451-2412. So it's the great show on Monday, Maniac Monday. Jerry, who recently passed, as I've spoken about, we had little nicknames for every day of the week. He trained since 1999, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, hardly ever missed in the course of 3 years, hardly ever missed 3 days per week. Didn't like to miss, loved his workouts, looked forward to them. We always came up with different little names like Maniac Monday or Maniac Monday. And on Mondays, we always did slightly higher reps, kind of utilizing a form of periodization. Wednesdays, we would do medium reps, and then Friday, we get a little heavier. And like most people, the higher reps were the hardest, so he would call it Maniacal Monday. It was just kind of funny. Wicked Wednesday. We had all kinds of different names for Friday. Back at the old gym, we had our some of the tougher machines in the back of the gym, and he used to call it Amen Corner in reference to the famous golf course. But anyway, it's kind of fun to have names. We still do it today. But anyway, it's Monday. So what is going on Monday? What is the fitness stuff we can talk about today? So personally, Ellen and I and the team did a couple 5Ks over the weekend. Did one in Port Orange for a great cause, No Longer Fatherless, I believe it was called. Great cause. I always love using fitness to help causes, raise money. Today we did another one over in DeBerry, and it was a 5K and half marathon and marathon. Most of us did the 5K. Angelica did the marathon because she's training for an ultra. Those were good events. Cooler weather always makes it really, really nice to run when it's cooler out. Definitely everybody runs a little bit faster, On the petty side, it's like, why can't these guys measure these courses correctly, especially the 5K? Won't say who they are because I think they're genuinely nice people, but it seems like every race they score is mismeasured, and it is so simple. And you know what? Runners do get really irritated about that, and they kind of discuss it. If you're going for a certain time or whatever, people like it to be accurate, but I showed up and I thought, they're scoring it. This thing's going to be off. And sure enough, almost 0.10 long. But again, that's being petty and absolutely first world problems. But, it's always great on the weekends to do some of the 5Ks for fitness. And I just think that when people find something like that to do, it absolutely helps them stay in shape when they find a hobby. I always talk to this one guy, I think he's 70 or 71 now, super nice, see him at almost every local event. And, we just chat, and he's, like I said, he's at all the races, he's in good shape, you can tell he's healthy, you'd never guess he's 71, runs a good time, I remember when I was a kid, I thought, 71 looked like my grandpa, and we're just hanging some pictures, so I was looking at my grandpa, and he was Yale graduate and journalist. Not that that has much to do with it, but maybe it does because of how he dressed. But the picture, he's in the suit with the old-fashioned hat. That's what I thought of as a 71-year-old or 70-year-old at the time. He was probably even younger in that picture. But, and this guy's in running shoes and, short shorts and tank top. And it's like, you just don't picture it, but it's like, that should be the new normal. And when people are like, well, how are these people staying in better shape as they age? Well, there you go. They don't stop. They keep finding something they like to do physically, whether it be that, or some people get into triathlons, or some people play a lot of tennis or pickleball, or, some people are in the CrossFit, working out, bodybuilding. But really, I like all of that stuff. Not so much CrossFit. Sorry for my friends out there that do it. I just think it's a little bit too much injury causing for me, but I definitely love to lift weights and strength training. All those things aren't just like what I do to stay in shape. They're also my hobbies. Like when we travel, I've said before, like I like to work out. I don't see that as a chore at all. Whether it be hiking, jogging, running, hitting the hotel gyms if they're there, finding a nice little gym somewhere that I've never been to, pay the daily rate and go work out and check it out, talk to the owners. Like I like that stuff. Like fitness to me is absolutely not a chore. It is a way of life that I absolutely enjoy. I'm sitting here making this podcast in my office at my house, looking over at the bicycle I have up on my trainer and a dumbbell rack, even though I have a gym. At the gym, I have everything I need. I have more stuff here, 3 or 4 bikes in the garage. I love it. It's just what I love to do. Different tennis rackets and golf clubs and pickleball paddles and all this good stuff. So, it's just a great way for me to spend the weekend, and I absolutely knows it pays off regarding my health. And I look at people around me and I think the same thing, when we're at these events, no matter what people are doing, whether they had a gong out there today for people to bang the gong if you hit a PR, which stands for personal record. That's great. But whether you're hitting your PRs or, there are some people that were coming in for the half marathon almost at the same time as people were coming in at the marathon. Matter of fact, there was some crossover. So we're talking people that were coming in 2 hours and 50 minutes for the winner of the marathon. And there were some people still finishing the half marathon around the same time. So that's obviously different levels of fitness. You're looking at, literally double the mileage, 13.1 compared to 26.2, but they're all in shape. And we were talking about it on the way home. The people that are out there for so much longer are really the heroes. The people that are finishing in short times, it's great. Fitness is on display, but they're also done quicker. And the people that are, really slugging it out to get through it, that's hard. And I've heard elite athletes tell them that before. It's like, hey, you're the true heroes. You're out there getting it done. So it really doesn't matter, or should not matter so much what the times are. That's always been one of my kind of bugaboos as far as a lot of the endurance events. And I shouldn't just leave it at that. It's everywhere you go. It's no matter what sport. It probably doesn't even have to be a sport. It could be a hobby like cards or backgammon or chess. I'm sure everywhere people go and compete at amateur levels, there's always going to be a little bit level of seriousness that is over the top. And I see that often. It's the same people, me and, my friends. We're by far not perfect creatures. We're fallible humans just like everybody. And we joke around, privately. It's like, oh, here comes the social media post. There's going to be the glory thumpers, they're gonna, and it's typically not the people that are really doing their best just to get through it and improve their health. It's usually the people that do well for their age group or overall all the time, and which is absolutely wonderful. I've coached people who have done that. I've coached people in endurance events that have competed at really darn high levels. That's great. But what I find kind of funny is the ones who have been the most elite need the least amount of attention. They they don't post very much. They're actually very humble, showing a lot of humility, and just happy to be out there. But it is what it is. I mean, you're going to see it. You see them and you're like, I was joking before I even got home. I said, pay attention. The social media posts are coming. They did this. And it's, I think we can do better. I mean, I think that some people would argue that it's kind of inspirational to other people, but I haven't seen that. Like, that's not what I've seen. If anything, I've seen it turn people off quite a bit. It's kind of similar to someone who really fancies themselves as having a 10 body, and, who the heck knows, maybe they do, but they're flaunting it at the gyms all the time. I mean, look, I work out in a t-shirt, sometimes a tank top, usually not, but most of the time a t-shirt, shorts. I feel like I have defined muscles and everything. So I'm not saying anybody that is working out in a shirt or whatever is flaunting, but that there are people that are. I mean, there are people that put on their whole get-ups before they go to the gym, and some of the guys look so silly with the outfits they put on, the tough guy thing with the hoodies when they're bench pressing. Oh man, that one really gets me. You see that dude sitting on the bench, he pulls the hoodie up and he's like, dude, it's like 92 degrees in here. Like, what the hell are you doing? But, hey, it looks great on Instagram. But, so both sexes do it. All sexes do it. But, it's a turnoff to them. It's a turnoff to people that want to go to the gym, because a lot of people that don't go to the gym, they have their reasons, but some of the reasons are they feel intimidated. They feel like, I'm not good enough to be here, which of course is silly. Everybody should be there, but I get what they're coming from. I really do get where they're coming from, because they can walk in and, I don't know if everybody remembers, but I'm sure people, at least Gen X or older, can remember like the, what were they called? The leggings with the thong over them. Remember that the women used to wear into the, maybe some of the guys, I mean, who knows? I don't judge, they probably did. Who the heck knows? But I remember seeing that more on women. I mean, it's like, okay, I mean, great look, probably didn't mind it a whole lot in my 20s, but, the thing is, it's like, what are you doing? I mean, and so people are going to look at that and go, shoot, that's not my body. I don't want to go, So I don't know. This turned into a little rant, but that's what Mondays are all about. Maniac Monday, talking about my fitness weekend. And I just think we can do better. People who are in really good shape probably don't need to flaunt it in any way. I think, like, if we're going to use social media for the good, which it's really not used at least 50% of the time for the good. I mean, a lot of it is just really ego stuff, people needing attention. And I'll pull up my psych degree for you a little bit, but ego isn't confidence. Ego is insecurity. Confidence says, I know I'm good. I know I do well. I know I'm pretty fit. And I don't need people to tell me that. Like, that's confidence. Ego is lack of confidence and low self-esteem. And it's basically, I don't feel like I'm very fit, and I need people to tell me I'm very fit. I need those likes on Facebook to get that. No, not everybody's doing it for that reason. If it applies, great. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. But, I just think we can do better as people who are doing different activities all the time, whether it be CrossFit or bodybuilding or running races or triathlons. It's like, I think we want to lift people up and get them to want to do these events. And, if we're making it all about the plaque, the trophy, like, man, we missed something somewhere, right? I mean, typically a lot of the people who were super competitive athletes in high school and college and maybe beyond, they kind of don't do that. Like, they got it out of their system. They're grateful. I think it's kind of rude to not go to the awards and think you're too good for them. Like, I think there's a happy medium, because I know from a person who puts on races, we got mugs this last time, coffee mugs. They're not cheap. We don't get those for free. We're paying, I can't remember, $7 a mug or something like that. And I ordered 40 or something like that. So, I mean, this stuff's not cheap, that we go out and we want to make sure every age group is represented. And so it's kind of rude to go, I don't need another mug or a plaque. It's like, no, that's kind of rude. And at the same time, it's like, you get it, be grateful. Today I was third place and got this nice little cup. It's a little, I don't know if it's a coffee mug or a water cup. I don't know. It's pretty nice. It's pretty cool. But at the same time, it's a cup. It's a third place in a DeBerry 55 to 59 DeBerry 5K that, I don't know how many people in the age group, not many, right? I mean, if I start thinking I'm like the world's greatest runner, I mean, come on, that's like ludicrous. Like there are like super, 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 super fast people that go to a lot of these local Volusia County races. And you know what? They're not even fast compared to the world's best. It's like people need to kind of chill out. Like we look at times nationally and we go, oh my God. Like, so to give you an idea, there's Steve Prefontaine who died tragically. I think he was in his 20s. You can look that up. I know he was young. I know it was unfortunately a DUI accident. He was an Olympic hopeful, great middle distance runner, 5K. He was phenomenal at the 5K. I don't know exactly what his time was, but I know it was under 13 minutes. I wasn't even at mile 2 at 13 minutes. No, I wasn't even at a mile and a half at 13 minutes. No, I wasn't. I was probably like right there or something like that. I mean, and he's done. I mean, that's elite. I mean, my man's done and I still have like 15 minutes left and he's already eaten a pizza, whatever. Like there are people in the world like that. So whenever we start like really thinking this is really huge, I mean, I just kind of think we're missing something in our life. Something's not there. Wellness, fitness should be used to, in my estimation, make us better people, make us more fit so we can do, good things, right? Not necessarily so we can boast. I just think that's a misuse of physical fitness. That's just, my opinion, my rant on that. But, that's just what I saw today. And, hope you kind of think about that a little bit. We have big week coming up. Of course, it's Thanksgiving coming up. And, it's just time to buckle down and be consistent. I'm not a big believer in just throwing away you're not going to throw everything away if you totally binge on Thanksgiving, by the way. No, of course not. I'm not going to sit there and say that would happen. But I will say, like, why throw out all of your habits just because it's a big day? Like, why throw out all the habits? There's like no reason to do that. Sure, splurge a little bit. I'm not a big fan of just, totally changing everything on a given day. Don't get me wrong. I love a piece of pie here and there. And on Thanksgiving, I'm sure I'll have two. I'm sure I'll have a piece at lunch at, whenever we eat the main meal, and probably another one later. I mean, but I'm not going to binge all day, I just don't think it does us a lot of good. I think it makes us, feel guilty, feel bloated, feel like pigs, So, just practice maybe a little bit of temperance, think that might be good to do for all of us. And maybe go out and find yourself a nice little turkey trot on Thanksgiving Day. There's always 5Ks around. And, go out and be grateful you can run, walk, jog, because some people can't. And the people that can't want to, most that I know. So, maybe that's the way that we look at these running events, just be grateful we're out there still kicking it, right? I mean, that's what me and my 7-year-old friend say every time, he always says, made another one, still doing it. That's what counts. It's like, that's absolutely the truth. It's about consistency and longevity. That's the true win. As they say, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, right? So let me thank Overhead Door of Daytona Beach, and I earnestly can say that, I'm so grateful for their sponsorship. It's so funny, they'll write me a check before they're due, whether it be for workouts or the podcast. They're just, they just really, really want to help. And most importantly for you guys out there, they're the best. I mean, they're the best garage door company. Like, there isn't anybody even close. And give them a shout, overheaddordaytona.com.